Hey guys, it's Nick Nitro here. I just wanted to bring to the table um a devotion that I wanted to share with you for 40 days. It's this devotion right here. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into day one. All right, so day one comes from Matthew 16, verse 26. Says, "And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul?" Um, the devotion starts off by saying, in the year 2000, back when I was still with Korn, I was given some news that completely rocked my world. My manager called and told me that Korn was going on tour with Metallica and Kid Rock and System of a Down. That was a dream come true tour for me. Everyone in that metal community respected Metallica as pioneers and inventing dark melodic metal. They had influenced so many great bands over the years. I never got into Kid Rock, but I thought he had some cool songs, and I'd heard nothing but great things about him. His reputation was that he loved to party as much as 10 rock stars, it was said, and had not, excuse me, and had no "I'm better than you" attitude at all. System of a Down was pretty new to the scene back then, but they had a great buzz and everyone was into their style. During that tour, everybody got along great. There was a lot of partying on that tour, which helped me forget all the drama going on at home. Relationship troubles. Metallica had their own private jet, so they were able to fly from concert to concert. They would play until around midnight every night, showing up and then take off to the airport. One night, I was hanging out with Kid Rock, and he mentioned that he'd soon be going on to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. I came up with the bright idea to put a little wager on something. I told him that if he made a big cocaine reference right into the camera for me when he played his song, I'd give him $1,000 the next time I saw him. It was a bet. If he didn't do it, I was gonna pay. I'm sorry. Um, if he didn't do it, he was gonna pay me $1,000. And I really thought it wasn't gonna. And I really thought he wasn't going to do it. Excuse me. With all the lights and cameras he'd been facing at the Tonight Show studio, I thought for sure he'd either get scared or forget all about it. He didn't. I lost $1,000. Anyway, we were all talking about the purpose that the proposed bet that night. Lars Ulrich, Metallica's drummer, came into the dressing room and jumped into conversation with us. He said Metallica was getting ready to take off in their private jet, and he invited me and Kid Rock to go with them. Ride in Metallica's private jet? Let me think about that. Before I could ponder, I had my bags in my hands along with a little something I picked up after the Korn set, an 8 ball of cocaine. I felt like a fan who had won a contest. It was crazy. Sitting on the private jet with Kid Rock and Metallica was just surreal. I had a good time laughing and totally forgot about the drama at home, but the laughter didn't last long during the flight. I went into the bathroom and helped myself to my cocaine a couple of times. that wiped the smile right off my face, as it always did. Cocaine, despite its initial high, was always a good time killer. 3 other guys, I'm not mentioning names, joined with me on the cocaine after a while, and the stuff slowly took the fun right out of their night too. Well, one of them was having a pretty good time, but everyone else lost their smiles. Given that cocaine always had that effect, I never understood why we did it so much. I guess it was just the rock star thing to do. We all had to act our part. The private jet ended up in Dallas, Texas, and we met up with the guys in the band Pantera at their nightclub. We kept snorting lines and lines of cocaine all night secretly in the club's back room. We didn't want anyone else around because we were all paranoid. We started talking in monotone voices, and our faces looked all white and scared like deer in the headlights. At around 4 o'clock in the morning, something extremely weird happened. We were all locked up in the back room, wrapped up in a ridiculously serious but totally meaningless cocaine conversation about music. All of a sudden, one of the guys tried to throw in his 2 cents, but the cocaine had taken his ability to talk away completely. Out of the blue, he became almost mute. It was so disturbing that I could barely keep myself together. Here I was with the famous guy in a huger-than-life band, and his speech had almost completely stopped. He couldn't talk other than to slowly moan one word at a time. I got panicky because I had given him the coke. No joke. News headlines flashed in my mind. Head gives fellow rock star cocaine and causes him to lose the ability to talk. The night had started out like a surreal dream, coming true, but it turned into a dark, gloomy dungeon. As I looked around the room at some of the top players in metal music, I started to think about where I was in life. I thought to myself, look at all of us. We are all on top of the music business, riding around in the best tour buses and flying in private jets. But here we are, huddled in the back room of a nightclub, hiding from everyone. Our faces are shining from cocaine sweat. We're talking nonsense, and one of us has lost the ability to speak a complete sentence. Although I didn't yet think of the problem in Christian terms, I see now that I had gained the whole world, but I was losing my own soul. I was slipping away from me incredibly fast. Thankfully, the rock star was able to speak again the next day, but I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. In fact, the question would haunt me for years. What was benefiting me to gain the whole world? I'd gained fame, but I'd lost the person I was. I gained money, but I lost my satisfaction and contentment in life. I'd gained fans, but I was always away from the people who loved me the most. Colossians 1:13 through 14, and this is coming from the Message translation. God rescues us from dead-end alleys and dark dungeons. He sets us up in the kingdom of the Son he loves so much. The Son who got us out of the pit we were in, got rid of the sins we were doomed to keep repeating. Despite the partial awakening I felt that night, when I saw the damage that drugs could do, it took me a long time to act on it. Whether it was beer, cocaine, speed, or pills, I still kept repeating the same stupid mistakes year after year, doomed to keep repeating them, as it says in Colossians. Every drug I mentioned above brought me complete misery. After the short high wore off, after the thousands of beers I drank, mixed with the thousands of lines and pills I took, I could have easily died. I could have lost my soul forever, but the person who loved me the most rescued me before it was too late. Now I am his forever. Who do you belong to? That concludes day one. The question that Brian asks in day one, the two questions really. Who do you belong to? And really stand back and really ponder on what you're doing with your life. If God is dealing with you now and you're watching this, just take some time to yourself and pray. What does God want for you in your life? I know for me, I was raised in church. I know everybody's got their own walk of life. My walk's, of course, I already know this, it's different from everybody else's. But I'm still trying to figure out my purpose and what God wants me to do. My prayer for you all is that if in right now, the point in your life right now, if you're struggling and you're asking yourself from what Colossians has to say, and I'm going to go ahead and read this passage again. God rescues us from dead-end alleys and dark dungeons. He sets us up in the kingdom of the Son he loves so much. The Son who got us out of the pit we were in, got rid of the sins we were doomed to keep repeating. If you are struggling right now, I pray, Lord, that you just ask God to help. I know life's not easy, and if you are an addict, I know that addiction is a hard thing to handle. Whether it's addiction to drugs, pornography, whatever your addiction might be, I pray that if God is dealing with you, that you'd come to know him today. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I will be doing a video a day. I want to do my best to do a video a day. Today's the 30th of November, so the next one will be on the 1st of December. If you've stayed this whole 13 minutes to hear what I've had to say, I thank you. You can reach me if you have any questions, or if you just want me to pray for you and your needs, you can reach me. I will leave my email address in the description. It's the Nick Nitro Show at gmail.com. But like I said, I'll leave it in the description. Thank you for watching and taking the time out of your busy schedule to hear what I have to say. And I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow.